Magandang araw! Sama-sama tayong matuto sa Teacher Sal Learning Resource Channel.
Revised K-12 Curriculum Math 5 Quarter 1 Week 2. Our topic is all about comparing world time zones, solving word problems on comparing world time zones. Let us review converting 12-hour and 24-hour time. Complete the table so that the time given in the 12-hour time column will equal the time shown in the 24-hour column. Here are the correct answers. 0708, 2240, 12:21 a.m. 5:25 p.m. 1:43 a.m. Have you been to an airport, office, or house where you see clocks with different times hanging on the wall? Have you ever wondered what they are for and why they display different times? Different countries follow different time zones. These clocks show the time in some parts of the world. It is 14:12 or 2:12 p.m. on Saturday in Angeles City, Philippines. What time and day is it in New York, London, Tokyo? If it is 14:12 or 2:12 p.m. on Saturday in Angeles City, Philippines, it is 2:12 or 2:12 a.m. in New York, 7:12 or 7:12 a.m. in London, and 15:12 or 3:12 p.m. in Tokyo, all on a Saturday. A time zone is a region where the same standard time is adopted. According to Britannica Kids, the world is divided into 24 time zones. Each time zone is approximately 15 degrees longitude wide and corresponds to 1 hour. Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC, formerly known as Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, is the world's time standard. Time zones are based on how far they are behind or ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, the GMT, or Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. The GMT zone is the reference point and is considered to be zero. Countries located west of the prime meridian are behind the GMT and use a negative GMT or UTC, while countries situated east are ahead of GMT and use a positive GMT or UTC. For our subtopic 1, compare the time in different world time zones to the time in the Philippines using a world time zone map. Let us read and analyze the given word problem. Rafa was the champion in his school's recently held math quiz bee. He would like to share this achievement with his uncles who live in Auckland, New Zealand. He intends to call them at 4:00 p.m. Philippine time. What time will Rafa's uncle receive his call from the Philippines in Auckland, New Zealand? To answer this, let us look at the world time zone map. The world time zone map indicates that the Philippines is in the UTC plus 8 while Auckland, New Zealand is in UTC plus 12. This means that there is a 4-hour difference between the Philippines and Auckland. Specifically, Auckland is 4 hours ahead of the Philippine time zone. Let us illustrate the time difference between two locations using a number line. The time difference is 4 hours. If Rafa intends to call his uncles at 4:00 p.m. Philippine time, what time is that in Auckland, New Zealand? For the solution, The time difference between Philippines and Auckland is 4 hours. Therefore, 4 p.m. in the Philippines corresponds to 8 p.m. in Auckland, New Zealand. Some countries have more than one time zone, such as the United States, Canada, Russia, Australia, etc. The Philippines has only one time zone, meaning all places in the country observe the same time. According to IBM, Daylight Saving Time or DST is the portion of the year in which a region's local time is advanced from its standard official time. The local time typically changes by 1 hour, but the actual amount is controlled by the DST shift value of the time zone description. Here are some additional concepts related to world time zones. It takes 24 hours for the Earth to rotate on its axis, which makes 1 day. Since it rotates 360 degrees, within 24 hours, it rotates approximately 15 degrees per hour. Hence, the world has 24 time zones. As mentioned earlier, time zones are based on how far they are behind or ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, or Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. This means that moving towards the west of Greenwich would require us to set our clocks back to an earlier time, while moving towards the east would require us to set our clocks to a later time. Use a world time zone map. Let's emphasize the following steps while discussing the solution of each example. Identify the UTC of the given locations. For locations on the same side of the primary region, either to the west or to the east, subtract the Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, of the given locations. For locations on opposite sides of the primary region, one to the west and the other to the east, add the respective distances from the primary region. To determine the equivalent time in another location given the Philippine time, add the calculated time difference to the given Philippine time when the UTC of another location is ahead of the Philippines UTC. Conversely, if the UTC of another location is behind the Philippines UTC, subtract the calculated time difference from the given Philippine time. If it is 10 a.m. Monday in the Philippines, what time and day is in the following places? Johannesburg, South Africa, Seoul, South Korea, and Lima, Peru. Solutions: Philippines, UTC plus 800. Johannesburg, South Africa, UTC plus 200. We will subtract 2 from 8. The answer is 6. The Philippines and Johannesburg, South Africa have a 6-hour difference. Specifically, Johannesburg, South Africa's time is 6 hours behind the Philippines' time. Subtract 6 hours from 10 a.m. Hence, if it is 10 a.m. Monday in the Philippines, it is 4 a.m. Monday in Johannesburg, South Africa. For locations on opposite sides, both numbers are considered positive values when adding the distances from the primary region. In passing only, this particular concept is known as the absolute value of a number. The Philippines and Seoul, South Korea have an hour difference. Specifically, the time in Seoul, South Korea is 1 hour ahead of the Philippine time. Add 1 hour to 10 a.m. Hence, if it is 10 a.m. Monday in the Philippines, it is 11 a.m. Monday in Seoul, South Korea. For letter C, Philippines, UTC plus 800. Lima, Peru, UTC plus 500. The Philippines and Lima, Peru have a 13-hour difference. Specifically, time in Lima, Peru is 13 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 13 hours from 10 a.m. Hence, it is 10 a.m. on Monday in the Philippines. It is 9 p.m. Sunday in Lima, Peru. If it is 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the Philippines, what time and day is it in the following places? Singapore, Bangkok, Thailand, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Sydney, Australia. Here are the solutions. For Philippines UTC, we have 800. Singapore UTC plus 800. Since the Philippines and Singapore are in the same time zone and have the same UTC, they observe the same time. Hence, 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the Philippines is 9:30 p.m. on Friday in Singapore. Philippine UTC plus 8. For Bangkok, Thailand, UTC plus 700. The Philippines and Bangkok, Thailand have an hour difference. Specifically, the time in Bangkok, Thailand is an hour behind the Philippine time. Subtract 1 hour from 9:30 p.m. Hence, it is 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the Philippines. It is 8:30 p.m. Friday in Bangkok, Thailand. Letter C. Philippine UTC plus 800. Sao Paulo, Brazil UTC minus or negative 300. The Philippines and Sao Paulo, Brazil have an 11-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Sao Paulo, Brazil is 11 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 11 hours from 9:30 p.m. Hence, if it is 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the Philippines, it is 10:30 a.m. Friday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. For letter D, Philippines, UTC plus 800. In Sydney, Australia, UTC plus 1000. The Philippines and Sydney, Australia have a 2-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Sydney, Australia is 2 hours ahead of the Philippine time. Add 2 hours to 9:30 p.m. Hence, if it is 9:30 p.m. on Friday in the Philippines, it is 11:30 p.m. Friday in Sydney, Australia. For example 3, if it is 17:00 Tuesday in Mexico City, Mexico, what time and day is it in Buenos Aires, Argentina? Here is the solution. For Buenos Aires, Argentina, UTC negative 300. Mexico City, Mexico, UTC negative 600. Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Mexico City, Mexico have a 3-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Buenos Aires, Argentina is 3 hours ahead of Mexico City, Mexico time. Add 3 hours to 17:00. Hence, if it is 17:00 on Tuesday in Mexico City, Mexico, it is 20:00 Tuesday in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Let's have activity number 1, exploring travel destinations. Here are the materials needed: paper and pen, world time zone map. Instruction: from the list, choose the top 5 countries or cities to which you would like to travel someday. Using the world map, identify the UTC for each chosen location and compare the time in the travel destinations with Philippine time. Here are the list of travel destinations: Prague, Czech Republic, Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, Puerto Rico, Hong Kong, Auckland, New Zealand, Tokyo, Japan, Reykjavik, Iceland, Switzerland, Rome, Italy, Buenos Aires, Argentina. For the first column, travel destination 1 to 5. Second column, country or city. UTC, you write the time difference relative to PH or Philippines. If it is 7:45 a.m. on Tuesday in the Philippines, what time and day is it in blank? And for the last column, if it is 4:30 p.m. on Saturday in the Philippines, what time and day is it in blank? Here are the correct answers. For the next topic, solve problems on comparing the time in different world time zones to the time in the Philippines. Aside from your hometown, what places have you visited already? What other places in the Philippines would you like to see? Why? Aside from local destinations, have you considered traveling to an international destination someday? Did you know that the New York Times listed 52 travel destinations for 2024? Let's take a peek at some of them. Who knows? We may visit one someday. We have Thessaloniki, Greece, Paris, France, Ladakh, India, and Maui, Hawaii. Let us answer the examples of world problems on world time zones. Example 1. Kate, who lives in Manila, Philippines, wants to call her friend Elmer, who lives in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. If Kate calls Elmer at 3 p.m. Tuesday, Philippine time, what day and time is it in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? Here is the solution. For Manila, Philippines UTC plus 800, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia UTC plus 300. The Philippines and Riyadh, Saudi Arabia have a 5-hour difference. Specifically, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia time is 5 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 5 hours from 3 p.m. Hence, if it is 3 p.m. Tuesday in the Philippines, it is 10 a.m. Tuesday in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Example 2. Dr. Malari has been invited to deliver a keynote speech for an international webinar. The participants live in Colombia. The webinar begins at 9:30 p.m. Wednesday, Philippine time. What day and time will it be for the participants in Colombia? Solution. For Philippines, UTC plus 800, Colombia, UTC negative 500. The Philippines and Colombia have a 13-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Colombia is 13 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 13 hours from 9:30 p.m. Hence, if it is 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday in the Philippines, it is 8:30 a.m. Wednesday in Colombia. Example 3. Suppose a flight departs from Manila at 10 p.m. on a Monday, Philippine time, and arrives in Paris after a 17-hour journey. What day and time will it be in Paris upon arrival? Solution. Philippines, UTC plus 800. Paris, France, UTC plus 100. The Philippines and Paris, France have a 7-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Paris. France is 7 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 7 hours from 10 p.m. Hence, if it is 10 p.m. on Monday in the Philippines, it is 3 p.m. Monday in Paris, France. Since Manila to Paris is a 17-hour journey, add 17 hours to 3 p.m. The flight will arrive in Paris, France at 8 a.m. Tuesday. Example 4. A multinational corporation with headquarters in Cebu, Philippines is organizing a video conference with its branches in Edmonton, Canada, UTC -700, and Chicago, USA, UTC -600. If the video conference is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Philippine time, what day and time will it be for the branches in Edmonton and Chicago? Cebu, Philippines, UTC plus 800. Edmonton, Canada, UTC minus 700. Chicago, USA, UTC minus 0600. Edmonton to Cebu, 7 plus 8 equals 15. Chicago to Cebu, 6 plus 8 equals 14. Edmonton, Cebu. Cebu, Philippines and Edmonton, Canada have a 15-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Edmonton, Canada is 15 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 15 hours from 4:30 p.m. Hence, if it is 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday in Cebu, Philippines, it is 1:30 a.m. Wednesday in Edmonton, Canada. For Chicago to Cebu, Cebu, Philippines and Chicago, USA have a 14-hour difference. Specifically, the time in Chicago, USA is 14 hours behind the Philippine time. Subtract 14 hours from 4:30 p.m. Hence, if it is 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday in Cebu, Philippines, it is 2:30 a.m. Wednesday in Chicago, USA. Activity number 2, word problems on comparing world time zones. For the objective, solve problems on comparing the time in different world time zones to the time in the Philippines. Materials needed: paper and pen, world time zone map or table of UTC of countries and cities. Instructions: solve the following world problems. Show the necessary solutions. The Philippines celebrates New Year's Day on January 1. If it is midnight on January 1, 2025 in the Philippines, what date and time will it be in Moscow, Russia? A company schedules virtual meetings between Manila, Philippines, Tokyo, Japan, and Phnom Penh, Cambodia. The meeting is set for 1 p.m. Wednesday, Philippine time. What time and day will that be for the teams in Tokyo and Cambodia? If it is 1 hour past midnight on Sunday in Baguio, Philippines, what time and day is it in Guam? Rafa plans to travel from Manila, Philippines to Perth, Australia. It will take him 7 hours and 15 minutes to reach his destination. His flight is scheduled to depart from Manila International Airport at 6:20 a.m. local time Monday. What time and day in Perth's local time will his flight arrive? Kim Yuna, a Korean student, is currently pursuing her studies at a private university in Angeles City, Pampanga. Feeling homesick, she plans to call her mother, who lives in Seoul, South Korea. If Yuna's mother is available at 7:30 p.m. local time in Seoul, what time should Yuna make her call from the Philippines? Here are the correct answers for number 1 and 2. Number 3, 4, and 5. Complete this table. What I've learned from the discussion: concepts that are somewhat confusing and concepts I totally don't understand. Complete the given statements. The lesson in the world time zone is essential because blank. Understanding world time zones also helps me appreciate blank. For activity number 3, for your formative assessment on world time zones, identify the coordinated universal time UTC of the given locations. Using a world time zone map or a table of time zones, then calculate their time difference relative to the Philippines. Determine the equivalent time of the given location as compared to Philippine time. For the country, we have Jakarta, Indonesia, Melbourne, Australia, Caracas, Venezuela, Shanghai, China, and Paris, France. Solve the following word problems. Show the necessary solutions. A group of students is leaving Manila for Seoul, South Korea on a school trip. They are departing at 6:20 a.m. local time. If their journey takes 3 hours and 45 minutes, what time will it be in Seoul, South Korea upon their arrival? Theon is traveling to Auckland, New Zealand to visit his friends. His flight departs at 8 p.m. on Sunday, Philippine time. If his journey takes 10 hours and 30 minutes, what time and day will it be in Auckland, New Zealand upon his arrival? Mr. Malari is invited to speak in an online forum on Wednesday at 5 p.m., the Philippine time. The participants are based in London, United Kingdom, with UTC 0000. What time and day will that be for the participants in London? Calvin lives in Vancouver, Canada, UTC -800. He plans to greet his grandmother in the Philippines on her birthday, which falls on Saturday, August 3, 2024. He wants to call her exactly at midnight. What time and date should he make the call from Vancouver, Canada? Here are the correct answers. For letter B,